or if you're doing 3 days or 4 days. If your job and lifestyle allows you, because we don't recommend you fasting while you're working, right? If you're fasting, you need to be resting. All right? So if you can do a fast, a day fast, a weekend fast, or whatever. And then after that, then you come in with 100% raw for 2 days or 1 day, whatever you figure out, okay? And then after that, you may come in with maybe more or less 75% raw. And you make sure you get in some soups, some broths, fruit, veggies, and so on and so forth. You follow me so far? Okay. Now, you may combine any of the above to make a successful program as I just described. Avoid your meat, your fish, your poultries. Avoid your nuts, your nut butter, and heavy foods during the cleanse. You want to eat foods that are easiest to digest, unless you sprout the nuts and the seeds. Nut butters are hard to digest, meat is hard to digest, and so on and so forth. So you want to take it easy on the body. All right? So keep your diet simple as possible. Some important consideration: as a part of the cleanse, you need a fiber component, a high fiber formula, because you're going to be taking a high fiber 3 or 4 times during each of those days on the cleanse. So we clean in the bowels too at the same time. You follow me? In some cases, if you are able to get a colonic irrigation, that would be indispensable. Or a colema. We have a colema board over there to show you what that's like. The colema board. Or enema. You know, enema can do the job too. You just got to do it right. Okay? All right. Sometimes in the absence, let's say a person, this is we call it intestinal formula number 1, primarily herbal formula with laxative herbs in there in capsule. So if no colonic is available, or if my bowels were going twice a week or so on, so I know that there's a lot of stuff in there that need to really come out, and we need to get all the power behind that powder going in, folks. So we got to get some extra pushing power, so that's where the laxative capsule would come in. So we'd take that once a day, and along with taking this 3 or 4 times a day, or whichever one, but you want a good one. Okay? All right? Another important consideration during this time is the parasites. And those guys love to eat. They will take advantage of wherever there's free room and board. So in doing a cleanse, a detox, then we want to consider these guys, that they're there, because 80% of the population has them, and use some herbal formulas. This is Pyramin. There are different ones that work to help to get rid of those guys. Okay? You follow me so far? And probiotic, your multidophilus, or any kind of good probiotic, good bacteria, you want to replenish your bowel with them. They will help us a lot, and they will help the immune system as well tremendously. All right? And as I mentioned, the activities you need to rest during your cleanse typically, especially the fasting portion. All right? So that is the cleansing program, and if my wife and niece would start moving this way, that would be great. But I'll take a few questions in the meantime, I'll tell you something else. On the chemistry aspect, if you want some more information on that, we have some DVD, a single DVD, which give you a full overview strictly on the body chemistry. Okay? We have that in our booth. I know some of you don't realize that there are booths inside the room across the hall. Okay, and plus the Sanitarium DVD we talk about. If you want to put this in a Sanitarium setting, we cover the legal aspects of Sanitarium. We cover all the various aspects for several years of the Sanitarium. So those are also available. Question?
Regarding your probiotic, can you tell us a little bit about Rejuvelat?
Rejuvelat, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Mine was, can you repeat what you said about the person with high sugar usually have they're warmer because something with alcohol?
Yeah, they're usually, higher sugars people are usually warmer. They're usually the happy-go-lucky people. Hardly anything bother them, okay? The low blood sugar people, those are the irritable people. They're ready to take your head off at a drop of a pin. That's how physiology affects our temperament, our chemistry. And so low blood sugar folks, we got to pray a whole lot harder because it takes a lot more to control. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So the alcohol production out of the sugar, the body make alcohol not by fermentation, but by ionization. Just like you have some of these new sugars, these sweeteners these days, they're alcohol. We use them as sweetener, not by fermentation, but by the principle of ionization, okay? The body produces alcohol as well. 1 drop per 100 pounds of body weight to regulate the temperature every 30 to 60 minutes. Okay? Okay, great question. How do you measure the salt content of a person? We have the instrument that measures the salt content. But I was thinking about it this morning. If you look at your urine, and your urine is always concentrated, always yellow, and you may be assured that your salts are higher than what is supposed to be. You may also be you can maybe able to smell the ammonia in the urine. Now that's telling you something is going. Not enough water. So both the salt and the urea generally is higher than normal. Okay?
What do you recommend for shift workers, those who work overnight, in eating?
Shift workers, night workers, of course, that's not God's arrangement and God's plan. We're trying to do the best. We should be striving to get on God's program. But in the meantime, if you're a night worker, then our day is your night, and our night is your day, unfortunately. So you do everything reverse. Yes, sir. All throughout your body. There's as much lymph vessel as there are blood vessels. Okay? Okay. All right, we come over here, and then as they get ready. There are many good probiotics on the market, and depending on where you are, you may find some that's great. Generally, you can ask a person at the store what is a great one, what's their best one that they have, and they'll point out to you. There's some Primal Defense, it's great. Multidophilus is great. There's Solarian, etc., etc. You got many good natural probiotic on the market.
How long should you take probiotic?
Probiotic is also function as a part of your immune system as well. Okay, very important part. My wife was going to do a talk on that, but we can save it until next year. Okay, but probiotics are very important on account of time.
I've heard that a lot of the capsules, vitamin additives, and maybe probiotics is one of them. The capsules are made of maybe
Pork.
pork.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there recommendations of which one?
So get the ones that say vegetable capsules. Mm-hmm. All right, let's come over here. Any question? All right, there's no more question. Okay, we've taken quite a bit. All right, well, let's finish over here. What type of salt? Some folks say Celtic. There's the Himalaya pink salt, great salt. Okay. Over here. Yeah, if the urine is yellow, it may be acid or alkaline, that's not the issue. But usually what may happen, what usually is the case, sometimes it's so yellow, you can smell the ammonia. That's the last number in the equation. The higher that number gets, the thicker your blood gets. When it gets to about 30, the heart goes into a spasm. That's a heart attack, even if your arteries are not clogged up. You see what I'm saying? So the general idea, we should try to keep our urine more or less on the light side. So that's a good rule of thumb. You know, situations are better that way. Yes, so you have to make the exception for that. Okay? Ladies, when you come, I'll go. Okay? All right, great. So, friends, we do have, the thing I want to tell you about is the course that we offer. We offer a body chemistry course. We also offer a medical missionary training program. Usually it's in December. Last Sunday in November 25th through December 10th is when this one coming up will be. We have flyers and handouts on those. We're going to make sure you get a copy. We have a booth in the back where we'll try to answer your question, as well as you'll see some things that we've talked about. A great book you will need to have is Healthful Living. And there's a few Healthful Living back there, and Davis's table, and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Was everyone find everything informative and helpful? That's great. So right now we're about to show the practical aspect of everything, some of the things that Uncle mentioned. Can someone tell me what water is good for? Cleansing, right? So we're hydration. Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you. So we know, and we also know that in the Bible, Jesus says, I am the what? The living water. And if we drink of this water, what will happen? Amen. All right, so I have the opportunity to demonstrate the hot foot bath. And this can be used to basically to pull blood from inflamed area or congested areas, okay? Some of the illnesses that this can be used for example, nausea, insomnia, chest or pelvic congestion, such as, your menstrual pain. If you're suffering from menstrual pain or migraine, a hot foot bath is very helpful. Can I please have a volunteer? Headaches. If you have headaches, how many of us in here have ever suffered from headaches before? Almost everyone. So if you ever suffered from headaches before, the first thing to consider is to do what? We talked about it just a few minutes ago. Drink some water. You might be dehydrated, but also doing a half foot bath will be a great blessing. At this time, yes. Would you like to volunteer? Okay, you can come up. The lady back there. It's a lady. No, the half foot. Okay. Her question is the half foot bath the same as what we explained yesterday with the hot and the cold? No, it's a little bit different. For the half foot bath, you're actually immersing both of your foot in the water for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, the longevity of that is depending on the person. You have to everyone is different. Yesterday, I talked about to know yourself. Some people are heat sensitive or they have low blood pressure, so you have to be very careful as you're ministering the hot foot bath. So some people might be able to only spend 5 minutes. That depend on the person, and you have to be aware and keep a watchful eye. And I'll demonstrate everything once she comes up. As she come up, let me just prepare for this. I will list some of the materials that you would need in order to do the half a bath. As you can see, a bucket. You need a pitcher of ice to the side, so this will represent that. You'll need some towels on here, and I will explain the reason why you need them. You will need also sheets and blankets. I will explain the reason. You'll need a thermometer. You'll need, of course, hot water. Now, what you need? Michelle, here's Sister Michelle. You can have a seat for us, and I will demonstrate it to you. To make it easier,
a blanket first. Then the sheet.
now you would already pour out the water, the hot water. The temperature for that is between 105 to 110. Like I said before, you really have to know who you're working with, and so that you can know exactly how long to minister the hot foot bath. This will help to trap in the heat. What's going to happen as we pour her, she put her 2 foot in the hot foot bath. We're going to trap in that heat. It's actually going to also induce fever as well. Yes, so also help to remove that inflamed, the blood from that inflamed area and the congestion. So that's what we're trying to do. Yes. She's going to put her foot in. Yes. All right. We're going to first wrap her up with the sheets, including wrapping the the bucket as well. Here you go. Next, we're going to use our blanket. It's just going to be nicely warm. All right. Now, a very important thing, as you're ministering, you have to make sure what's happening. We're inducing fever. What's happening to her when you're hot? What happens to you? You sweat. So what's going to happen to her brain? It's hot, but we need to do what to the brain? We need to cool it down. So that's why I mentioned the ice bucket. So you have to watch. She's losing energy, right? She's sweating. So to keep her brain cool, to prevent any, anything from happening, any aneurysm or anything like that, we're going to keep the brain cool, okay? So you would take your towel. You can also wipe her face like this. And, keep talking to her to make sure that she's alert, that she's with you. These are little signs that will let you know how long that she can actually stay in this. Yes. So you would wipe her face, but you also use the other towel to put it over her forehead. You will have to keep changing it because what's going to happen is going to cool off. Okay? And this is why I mentioned yes, it will heat up and it will not be as effective. So you'll have to keep changing it so that you can put the cool over her forehead. And you'll need a thermometer as well to also watch whether or not her pressure, okay, or the temperature, to make sure that it's okay and that she's doing well. And watch her eyes, whether or not they're dilating. All these are little clues that will tell you with how long she can resist. Well, 10 to 15 minutes. How high? It says about 105 to 110. Yes. The temperature for her body temperature, 101, 112, yes. I thought you meant yes, the body temperature, yes.
Also, what we want to do though,
Oh, the battery.
the battery. I think the battery's gone. Okay, so what we're going to do is make sure this water keeps hot. So we're going to have a pitcher with hot water. So we're going to continually test it to see if it's at the right temperature. Okay. It came back again.
Any questions? No, the temperature is, I'm referring to the quickly.